Hey guys, it's Raga Mandala, and welcome back to another episode of Career Corner. My guest for today's episode is Sophie Jaggi, and she has a very special place in my heart. She's a Director of Development and Communications at Join Portland, a Portland organization that helps transition the homeless into permanent housing. I had the pleasure of working with her during some of my fundraisers for Join. She's not only compassionate, respectful, and kind, but she's also one of the most efficient leaders I've met. She's an expert in pro bono, consulting, volunteering, fundraising, and being on a nonprofit board. And I'm so excited to talk with her. Sophie, welcome to Career Corner. It's an honor to have you on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here, and thank you for that wonderful introduction.
So, Sophie, some of my friends bake cookies or sell lemonade to raise money for charity. As you know, I cook for Raga's Fun Kitchen for charity, and I have to say we feel so proud even though we barely make a dent with our contributions. You're the director of a nonprofit organization that is giving a new lease at life for the homeless. You must feel amazing doing your job. What motivated you to embark on this path? Could you please take us through your journey?
Absolutely. And first, I just want to say that your contributions have made quite an impact. So any contribution, big or small, whatever it is, it always makes a difference. So thank you for all that you have done, Raga. So what motivates me in the nonprofit space and to do this work is that I really care about solutions to the problems that are affecting our community, and how we can, create solutions and act them to build this compassionate and connected sense of community among us.
What do directors do at nonprofit organizations? What does a day at work look like for you? And how has 2020 impacted that with the pandemic, wildfires, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. So a normal day for me, it's very much focused on fundraising, which is called development and nonprofits. And, that looks like building relationships and connecting people to the work and securing investments. It's really about resource distribution. And so my role, especially in such a time of great need, and, our communities have experienced so much tragedy in such a short amount of time, is to really, make the work that's being done seen, keep people connected. So many people really want to step up and do some things. I mean, majority of people care deeply about our community, and they're looking for a way that they can support and give back. And so that's my role, and then coming in and helping to guide them and show them, here's a path to do that. We have been, we've modified our services, of course, to keep people safe from COVID. And during the fires, we've been out doing outreach, making sure that people can either get into safe shelter, get into a home, or get in, working day and night really to make sure that people are out of the elements.
Yeah, it's really difficult with this whole situation, and the air quality has gotten really bad. Anyways, I just wanted to ask you, where are you from? Are you from Portland or?
I'm from a suburb of Portland. I grew up in Newburgh, Oregon, and then I went to high school in Eastern Washington.
Oh, that's really cool. So what kind of educational background do you think is necessary for those aspiring to work for nonprofit organizations?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I am a big believer in education, whether that's an institutional education and the traditional path of going to a four-year university, or educating yourself. So some nonprofits don't have an education requirement, but I do think, gaining that experience is really important, and obviously showing a commitment to the work and advancing your knowledge of the needs that exist is really important. So I would definitely encourage people to pursue education, whether that's on a traditional path or their own learning.
So what personality traits or soft skills do you think are important to be effective in the nonprofit world? You do have impeccable communication skills, so I'm guessing that is one of them?
I think communication is just important with every role in life, really. Helps to develop relationships. I think another really important aspect to that is active listening, and especially in social community-based work, being able to listen to people is key. You have to hear what their experiences are and really connect in that kind of shared experience with some empathy, some compassion, and just be willing to listen.
So Sophie, what do you do for fun when you're not working?
Yeah, sure. Well, I love spending time with my family. I love spending time with my dog, who's very sweet. Friends, of course. I think for myself to kind of be centered in my own kind of self-care plan is really journaling, reading, and sort of like I referenced a moment ago, continuing to learn. So really seeking out information, seeking out resources, listening to other people and their perspectives also just keeps me engaged and makes me feel good.
So what's your educational background?
Yeah, I have my bachelor's degree in political science from UC Davis, and currently pursuing an advanced degree as well in education.
That's so cool. So seeing so many people struggling on the streets can be gut-wrenching. Does it challenge you? Does it get challenging for you to disengage from work and switch over to personal life when you're not working? Is this an issue most people working in nonprofit settings face?
It's definitely a common concern that comes up is that ability to, shift gears a little bit, because if, there's so much weight out there, there's so much heaviness, and to really carry all that isn't going to do anyone any good. So the best advice that I had been given when I started on the path of working in nonprofit and actually started first doing direct service was that, you have to imagine maybe that you're on a rock, say, and you have solid ground, and the person, you're trying to help and support a person up who's maybe in the water. And so you need to be on that solid ground in order to actually, reach in and support someone to also get on that solid ground. And I think that's really important. So you really need to find a way to center yourself, take care of yourself. For a lot of folks, that looks like establishing boundaries, and not letting the work overwhelm you, because if it does, that doesn't, really do any good for anybody. So pacing yourself is key.
Thanks for sharing all these details, Sophie. It's all very inspiring. So, Join's Big Fundraiser Hullabaloo is coming up. A great way for the community to give back. Can you please tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So given the environment that we're in, knowing that, COVID-19 does not allow us to gather, we are foregoing an in-person event this year, our annual fundraiser, the Hullabaloo. And instead, we have opted to do digital fundraising campaigns and really leveraging connections that people share. So a peer-to-peer model is what that's called. So we have a digital fundraising campaign site set up, and folks sign up to be individual fundraisers or fundraiser teams. And because you're a team, which is awesome. And I send weekly communication to people, and they share that out with their networks and encourage people to make contributions. And so it's a really great way of, both raising money, but also spreading or, casting a wider net, spreading the message of Join, and increasing some awareness about our work.
I'm really looking forward to my team meeting my fundraiser goals too. So aside from fundraising or monetary donations like for Hullabaloo, what are some of the other ways that the community can help with Join's mission?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So a number of ways. I mean, we are a local nonprofit, so folks can drop off items to us. We're always seeking cold weather items, and we're not quite there yet with the weather patterns, but we know that once the temperatures start dropping, it's vital that we are able to provide folks with sleeping bags, with warm socks, gloves, hats, hot hand warmers are really great as well. Tents, tarps, that sort of thing. So definitely always seeking cold weather supplies for people who are unable to access shelter or be able to get into housing. And our day center is open 3 days a week right now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to accept food. So if folks want to donate canned goods or prepared meals, that's a really great way to engage as well. And folks can drop it off at our site, which is 1435 Northeast 81st Avenue in Portland, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that'll be sure to get out to the community.
Yeah, it's really difficult for the homeless during the smoky air, and obviously it's gonna get cold soon because we just had really bad thunder last night, actually. So, so I'm guessing that working for nonprofits make you very aware of the laws that work for the benefit of our communities. Do you often work with legislators to suggest improvements?
Yeah, and actually one of the great and unique aspects to Join is that in addition to providing support downstream with people who are currently experiencing homelessness and helping them to move into permanent housing, we're also working upstream on housing justice and creating policies that correct the situation we're in now and prevent it in the future. So Join's executive director, Katrina Holland, is a just incredible advocate. She's a strong leader at the county level, city level, and state level to ensure that our houseless neighbors are taken care of, and that from here on out, hopefully, that we are advancing policies that are really making housing justice a priority.
So what advice do you have for kids that are passionate about giving back to the community and choosing nonprofit work for their career?
Yeah, well, I would encourage people actually to follow in your footsteps, Raga. I mean, I think that this career corner is such an excellent idea to get insight into, what a typical, job in the nonprofit space might look like. So listening to people who are doing those jobs, identifying first, what really calls to you? What is your sort of why, right? Like, why do you want to do X, Y, and Z work? And then find what that is and, seek out people who have made an impact in that field or that area.
This is all super motivating, Sophie. You're doing fantastic work.
Well, thank you, as are you.
Thank you so much. For friends that are watching, please consider donating to Hullabaloo, look for my team, Raga's Fun Kitchen, or make your own team. Thanks again for taking the time for Career Corner. It's great talking to you.
Thank you so much, Raga, and thank you so much for having me on Career Corner, a wonderful place to get insight into the professional nonprofit space.
That was Sophie Jaggi, the Director of Development and Communications at Join Portland. As Sophie says, if you're kind, compassionate, and love helping those in need, then the nonprofit world might be a great career choice for you. That's it for this episode of Career Corner. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe down below, hit the bell so you don't miss any future interviews, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Please subscribe to Raga's Fun Kitchen.